I have to say last week's episode was super choppy. It was like, I felt like I was watching Matt's Headroom. It was a little much.
What was choppy?
I mean, not, his editor's smooth, but when you're someone like me who pays attention, it was like, oh, that might be a little much. I think I don't forget what he's on our time to cut down, but yeah.
I hope Luna's listening.
I meant to tell him this before.
I hope he's listening. He's going to say, you're criticizing my work?
What's up, y'all? It's your boy DJ BenHaMeen, a.k.a. the Ghost in the Shell Toe, Doctor Who's Man's Assist, Master Splinter Cell, Trinidad Bane. Keep that same energy on when you see me reading Rambro here up in the spaceship tonight. I gotta talk about that in a second. But as always, I'm joined by my co-host,
Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as Doc Aki, Tesseract Thompson, Tatiana Kang, the Conqueror, Tatiana the King Slayer, Kuji Kajalia down to the socks. I'm dreaming of a Walter White Christmas and the Ting of the North.
All right, well, we are here on ForAllNerds Show. We are also live on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds, and I mean absolutely live. So if you're actually watching this right now, what up? Thank you to everybody out there. We'll be doing a lot more lives in 2025. You like that, live in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're watching this afterwards, you're just hearing us. Thank you for joining us. This is our year-end wrap-up show where we are going to talk about all the good things that happened this year. And on that note, before we get to the good things, I do want to say something. I was trying to make a post about this. Unfortunately, there were some dumb things said to me this year. You know what I mean? And I was going to make a list of the dumbest things said to me because some of them happen online. Some of them happen when I'm DJing. Like, I've got a classic from when I was DJing. I didn't tell you about this, Tatiana, when this dude told me to play Pokemon Go because he'd known the groom for 20 years since they were kids. And he wanted to hear the Pokemon Go theme song and do a speech.
Pokemon Go, not just Pokemon?
No, Pokemon Go.
Like, the game.
Yeah, the game.
Okay.
Yeah. The theme song to the game, I guess, because it is Pokemon Go, right? Yeah, I remember him specifically saying Pokemon Go.
It's just interesting because you said he knew his mans for 20 years.
Maybe it's just Pokemon.
I assumed he meant from the original TV show.
But it was, because it wasn't original TV show, because it was something specific he said, and I downloaded and listened to it. I don't know the original TV show, but the original TV show is probably catchy. This shit was a hot mess.
Yeah, no, the original show was catchy as fuck. Like,
even though catchy as fuck, nobody want to hear that shit, in the middle of the party.
No.
Anyway, no.
Unless you're mixing it in, unless you're doing some live
that ain't
mixing.
happening. Yeah, we ain't doing all that right now.
Right, we're not at Comic-Con. Got it.
Yeah, no, we're at a wedding. So it was one of the dumbest things said to me this year, and then the nigga cursed me out. Not nigga, whatever rando cursed me out after that.
Because you wouldn't play it?
Yo, yeah. Oh, I mean, cursed me out, gave me the absolute business, folks. Was
he drunk?
Oh, was he? The manager told me he had proposed to her earlier in the night. He was hammer time. But my man gave me the absolute business to the point where the photographer who's like working the photo booth next to me, who's not even there every week like I am at the venue, he's like, yo, did that dude just, say something? And I was like, yeah, bro. Because all I did was sit there and be like, you're right, sir. You're right. You're right. You're right. And it's funny because one of the other dumbest things said to me was on a phone conversation I had earlier this year, and that I ended with telling the same person, with a different person, you're right, you're right, you're right. Which I've learned is just like the way to deal with people who are spitting a bunch of dumb shit.
Do the troll tactics, troll in real life.
Yeah, I did real life. I was like, you're right, you're right, you're right. He's like, yo, you're a terrible DJ, dude.
Right.
You're fucking, because he's like, you can't download it right now. I think you should. I already downloaded and listened to it. He's like, I think you should be able to download stuff, And I was just like, you're right, you're right, you're right.
Because when someone goes to complain, they're going to say, well, what did DJ BenHaMeen say? He said I was right. It's like, there's no defense there. It's just like, okay, what should I do with this information? Like, oh.
Yep. And yeah, I had another, like I said, I had a conversation earlier this year that you know about, where someone said a bunch of nonsense to me.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that goes back to my other one that I wanted to ask you. When you were growing up, the phrase reading is fundamental was still a thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it is anymore.
Well, a lot of things are not fundamental anymore.
I know, but that's wild. That's
all children have been left behind, apparently. So.
Yeah, I'm learning that more and more. Like, it's like you hear about the decline in our education system, but now I'm seeing it in real time. I'm seeing the influence of like TikTok and Chat GPT over books, and like sadly Joe Rogan and fuck Andrew Schultz, and various people of this nature over books.
I like that that's his full name now. Like, that's how
it's been that.
Fuck Andrew Schultz.
You were there, Tatiana, and I'll say this on there.
I was there.
That's one of my big regrets, not slapping Andrew Schultz up. You know what I mean?
Like, you had the opportunity.
I had the opportunity.
He was right there.
He was right there. He asked for it. He tried it. I wouldn't have been in the right, but I wouldn't have been wrong. And I could have dragged his ass around his own studio, and it would have been a perfect timing for it. And I didn't. You win some, you lose some. But, it's sad that people are trusting the likes of these people over books. You know what I mean? Even people like me. Don't trust me over fucking books, y'all. Go out and fucking read. You know what I mean? Do yourself a favor. Like, read a book.
Well,
and especially I've read a lot of books this year. That's going to go in my best of too as well.
It also depends on what state you live in. Because, like, if you're in Florida, they're dumping a lot of those books. And
on that note,
dumpsters worth of books. I'm like, damn.
Support your local library. I just got a Brooklyn Public Library card, and the digital version is so sick, my dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, I've grabbed so many joints. You know what I mean? I got the James Baldwin, The Fire Next Time. I was reading the sequel to Sick Thoughts, which is this dope-ass book by Judd Apatow. It's Judd Apatow interviewing a bunch of people. So I got Sicker Thoughts, because I reread Sick Thoughts Sick in the Head. And Sicker in the Head. I reread Sick in the Head over and over again because those interviews are classic. It's like Apatow interviewing all these comedians and shit. So I was reading the second one. It's fire too.
Definitely support your local library and like be vocal. But like the library is a bastion of like peace. It's a bastion of education, obviously, and knowledge. And it's constantly under attack. Even in the most liberal quote of places like New York City. Thanks, Eric Adams. So, like, whatever y'all can do, like, we have to safeguard libraries, literally with our lives, and places like that, because libraries offer so much more besides just letting you check out books. Like, I mean, I don't know if they do the physical media anymore, but before, many years ago, like, they would do things like you could get DVDs from there. You can get physical media of things that you may not be able to get anymore, because now that everything's been digitized, it gives internet access, a warm place for some people, you know what I mean? Like a meeting grounds, a place to study, like a place to convene, like it's a place to gain culture, and as mentioned, just information. So libraries are way more valuable than people don't really communicate it to be. So be careful, guys. We got to be careful. I'm so scared. I'm sorry. I'm like veering off into all my fears. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm terrified too every day. Every day I'm like, I'm making all these plans for next year, and I'm like, what's it going to be like next year? You know?
Bruh, is it just me? Does it feel like preparing for COVID? Like, COVID was interesting in the fact that it was a global disaster that you didn't see coming, and then like you were just living in it, right? Like, I legit when it was at its, like, I saw it coming in terms of like I was tracking it since like the fall at the time, like September of 2019. When was it? 2019. Yeah. And then when it hit March 2020, like I knew, but I didn't know.
I was in Jamaica in February, and I remember like and everyone around me was like, doo-doo-doo, and I was like,
I knew I didn't, and the reason why I knew, because I knew like I already had mask and everything going crazy, but like I said, I still didn't know. And then it was like the most mild form, but it was giving like Walking Dead a little bit to me, like in terms of like there being no one in the streets, like many times, because I'm insane. I went into the city. I actually drove into the city and just saw shit I'd never seen in my life, like tumbleweed going down fucking 8th Ave, ain't shit happening on the street, like shit like that. And
but see, the thing is, it's not gonna be like that.
And that's what I'm saying. The comparison I'm trying to make is like, I can't even. It's like I know this is coming. Something's coming because we actually been through it already, and I still don't know what to expect.
Yeah, but we haven't been through it like this, and it's gonna be a different. I think the best one, like somebody else said, when they're comparing when their parents were talking about living in Spain under the fascist regime that took over there, and they're like, it's gonna be normal until it isn't, and then when it isn't, it's gonna be horrible, and we don't know, like there are still checks and balances in America that can,
Are there?
There are some, yes, there are still some, but no, I mean, we've already been moving to a lot of dumb shit, with or without this dude. Like,
true.
Like that was my other issue, with Miss Harris. That a lot of her policies were the exact same, and it's just this country is moving conservative, and the world is in a lot of places. So,
but the world often reflects what the U.S. is doing. So if the U.S. starts the BS, then the world's like, oh, we're gonna jump in.
Yeah. So. And he started this BS a while ago, and it carried on throughout the last administration, even though they weren't in full power. The vibes were there, and so
the vibes.
Here we are.
And also just in closing, like people have to understand the things that presidents enact and stuff have repercussions for years to come, and you don't feel the effect of their policies until after they're already out of office.
Oh yeah.
So like and even the good and the bad too. Like if a regime or president, whatever you want to call it, put something in place that actually was helpful, you're not going to see the effects until the next regime is in, and then they're going to take credit for it, and it's this kind of vicious cycle. So
or tear it apart before we can even get to feel.
Exactly. So sorry, but that's not why we're here.
I think we got through the worst of the year already.
Great.
So now, we can cheer it up a little bit and do our best of the year. This is the best of the best to us. This is our personal opinion, obviously. Just what we've been feeling over the year. Nothing more than that. I wouldn't even say this is like an award show or anything like of that nature.
No.
If you want that, shout out to the Spawnies, who are doing it real big. Shout out to Spawn on Me, who I know will be returning for 2025. That's an official award show.
That is.
You can, definitely take part in.
I fuck with it.
Yeah, word up. But, we can do our best of the year, whatever's clever.
So, like, best series, movies, games, all that.
Take it off with some honorable mentions then.
And I gave honorable mention to The Penguin and Batman Cape Crusader only because I didn't finish it, but I did start it. And just very, 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 very good TV, okay? Batman Cape Crusader, remember Joe Illidge put us on a few months back when we were at your comic book signing back at Anyone Comics. And Joe just explained, as a former Batman editor, as he likes to say, as a former legendary Batman editor, how this animation on Amazon Prime, this newish animated series it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It sticks to the heart of what Batman is. And like, if you ever watched the original, like, for me, like WB Kids, the original Batman animated series, like, is in that same vein, and it's giving. That's what I want to say. It's giving. I enjoy it. Voice acting is amazing. Of course, the animation is amazing. They never fail on it. DC will never fail when it comes to animation. So,
yep.
But
I've not seen none of it, but I trust you.
Yeah. No, it's worth it. And then, of course, the Penguin. What's my man's name?
Colin Farrell.
Farrell. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I just downloaded a drop from him. I mean, from the Penguin, where he's talking about it's the fucking best. When he's talking about the smoothies, when you mix the flavors, yeah, it's good. No, it's not just good. It's the fucking best. Yeah. I'll say this about Penguin though. I've found the show utterly pointless by the end of it. Like,
well, I didn't even finish it, so hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I mean, when I say hold on, like, just don't tell me everything that happens.
Yeah.
But
okay. But I found it good as hell. But really good.
Right now, it's cool, and like I said, I like Colin Farrell as an actor. I like how deep this man could talk about, like, method acting, or just when they have to go to therapy later because they did too much with their character.
The Sopranos?
Yeah.
Do you feel like he's doing a James Gandolfini as a Tony impersonation? About halfway through the show, that hit me, and it never left me after that.
I would. Oh, come on, Ben.
It's like Jamie Foxx and Ray, right? It's like it's good, and then it's also Jamie Foxx on in Living Color doing Ray. It's like
no. First of all, I liked Ray. You're disrespectful.
Don't watch
Ray,
it again.
I liked Ray
because you'll look at it different. It's good. Because Jamie Foxx is, exceptional. And that's actually honorable mention is his stand-up on Netflix. That's another honorable mention.
I actually had that as one of my top stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I fucked with that tough. I fucked with that really tough.
Jamie Foxx, what had happened was
his Anthony Jeselnik's special on Netflix. As always, though, is god tier work. Anthony Jeselnik is my favorite white boy comedian right now, though. That man is like absolutely outrageously good. Yeah, he's a monster.
What's another honorable mention? Some honorable mentions for you.
The Bear and House of Dragon for the Waste Your Time award. Even though I said this wasn't an award show, I'm gonna give these two awards.
Waste your time.
Wasting everyone's damn time with their seasons.
I already kind of agree in some
You already know
respects. Why. But okay, one by one, the Bear. What was the waste of your time?
Oh my God, the Bear is even more egregious than House of Dragon. Because the Bear takes place in modern times in 2024, I guess. Maybe it takes place in some other time where Claire doesn't have a fucking phone. And oh my God, this nigga spent a whole season and didn't call this woman. He cursed her out.
And it was like several months went by, right?
I don't know how much time. Time went by. Time went by. And like he curses her out at the end of the second season. And for the whole third season, there is not one interaction between these two characters. I mean, not one. And I'm supposed to actually care if he comes around to her in the next season. Claire should fucking, at the least, punch him in his face. At the most, shoot him so the series ends on a high note. Because as much as I love the Bear, that was utterly egregious. Like, it made season 3 garbage to me, honestly. And I love the show. I think, it's phenomenal acting. It has some phenomenal writing. But I thought season 3 was insulting in the same way that Game of Thrones was. House of Dragon. Like, House of Dragon, I feel like isn't even as bad. Because at least in House of Dragon, you can argue the characters are trying to avoid this horrible war that's coming. Right. So, you can give them that credit. You can give this Negro no credit. You can give him credit for not calling her. But then you can't give her credit or the writer's credit for having her hang around the peripheral and not calling him up and being like, nigga, please, it's over. Never talk to me again. Wow. After a month or so, like, come on, fam. No. But that's what I'm saying. Cause we're actually supposed to be invested enough to be like, oh, next season, what's to happen between Claire and Jeremy? Nothing, bitch. He deserves nothing. He is the villain of his series. He's Walter White in a restaurant.
Listen,
a bitch. If you didn't get my meaning. Therapy does wonders, folks. I say it again and again. This man is a rich white man. Well, not rich, but well off enough where he can get therapy. No excuses here. No sympathy.
2 responses though for you. So one, you just calling the Bear, the main guy, by his real life government name, saying "fuck Jeremy," but like Jeremy Allen White is the actor.
I thought that was his name on the show.
His character's name is Carmy.
Oh yeah, well fuck Carmy. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Jeremy. You're a great actor. Everyone on the show is fantastic.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And then second, the fact that you called Carmy a Negro just now, like you was just like, that set me. So.
He ain't nothing but a nigga. You know he is.
Okay.
Come on. And that's what I mean. Like, I mean in the Chris Rock term of nigga. Like, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. No, but you said, but not even nigga. You said Negro. So
there we go. Even worse. He like, what's my man? He like Kane Negro.
I also had the Bear on my honorable mentions.
He pulls his pants up when he dances.
I put the Bear on my honorable mention. I mean, I love your rant. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
10 out of 10. Would listen again. Okay, this season in whole wasn't a complete waste for me because of one episode starring Tina. Okay, one episode, which also gave Liza Colon, that gave her the Emmy or whatever she got for.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was fantastic.
That I'm not gonna completely destroy it just because like that was phenomenal, and I'm just happy that one of my favorite characters and someone who is just a beautiful person in real life anyway. But like, I'm just really happy about that, and it was worth it. There was a lot of stuff that was not worth it in this season, and when it was over, I kind of looked at my husband like, like that's it. Like that's the end. And I don't know. Like, there's very experimental, I will say. Like, the very first episode where it's like 30 plus minutes of no dialogue, just things happening.
That was dope.
I thought it was beautiful because I thought, like, you showed the energy and the art of cooking and the
it was dope.
Strength and the weaknesses. Like to be able to do a lot of emotional work without saying a word. I thought you just said.
But see, that's what I'm saying. They did that in that episode, and that was fire. And then they did that Tina episode,
and then everything else didn't kind of matter.
No, and that's what I'm saying. And they didn't do a lot more experimental shit where I can be like, oh, okay, well, at least they were doing wild shit at least it was an Atlanta season. This ain't Atlanta. You know what I mean? And Atlanta doesn't get near enough the credit it deserves when it's off the air now, because comparatively, these are the same type of, like experimental, weird, could be dope shows. And the Bear turned into some mess in season 3. Like, it's insulting. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And even the Tina episode, it's like, compared to Forks, which blows my mind, I felt like the Teen episode is just still like, okay, we know what we're doing now, so here's the tricks. You know what I mean? Cry. Like
when it worked, it
give
worked.
Us our Emmy, and I get it.
It worked. And then your comment about House of Dragon, because I actually had House of Dragon as a top. And I said, you know what? He's fucking right. And I put it back down to honorable mention. And the only because listen, I loved watching it. I loved reviewing it. Shout out to Tahoe and Daja. And
ain't no way that show is in the top.
Like I always had fun, and everyone, everyone loves listening to us review House of Dragon. I also was mad at the end. Like that ending was.
We have video evidence of how mad we were.
I was just like, so that's what we fucking doing tonight. So anyway, I will reduce. No, not reduce. What's the word when you knock something down? You deplatform. I'm gonna deplatform House of Dragon. Put it down. I'm gonna nerf it a little bit. Put it down to honorable mention. Because it's still House of the Dragon at the end of the day. It's still gonna make its ratings. But
straight up House of Dragon. I mean, honorable mention though. That's it.
Yeah, this is something that I put as a big miss. I made a random category just earlier, which was I missed it, but I want to watch it because I know it's a top thing for 2024. Arcane.
Man, I tried that first season and
they said, listen, every time I even get even close to the word arcane, people, oh my fucking God, people lose their goddamn mind. And I'm just like, you know what? This is something I have to explore because there's no way for now 3 seasons straight, like people are like this.
And I think that's the same thing that
and it not be good.
Yeah, and Janicia said it, T with Queen and Jay. I saw her posted about it, and she said that when am I gonna start liking this? And then she did. So it might be the same thing. Because the first episode, I remember watching that first season. I watched like the first 2, and I was like, art's beautiful, everything, but I just had no emotional connection to anything. I cared less. And everyone's ranting about it, so I'm gonna do what you do, and I'm gonna go back to it as well. Since we on shows, I think that's it for honorable mentions for me. Yep.
Sorry, one more for me. It's a movie, actually. Moana 2. Very good story. Once again, they know how to fucking do a story. They know how to fucking do animation. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you are, and this is also a recommendation to go see it. If y'all were thinking about it, go see it. It's actually a really good, really good sequel. That being said, it fell down a quote. I don't honorable mention because the music sucks. For me, I didn't see it for her this time around. And when I say her, I mean that unless it was like more traditional music, like the traditional music that they loop into the movie that's sung by, someone native to that culture or the islands or whatever, like that stuff was beautiful. But like the formulaic Disney, here's the big dance number, here's the big singing number, here's the big sad number, like those things were I did not like. And they paled in comparison to the first Moana. So that was my takeaway from Moana 2, but it was still an enjoyable movie, and it became honorable mention for 2024 for me.
All right. Well, guess we back on movies. So I'm going to do my best of the joints that I saw this year that were my favorite movies. I have to say, overall this year, there's a lot of I don't know. It just wasn't the year, It
didn't feel like the year, did it? Yeah, you know how there's some years it's been busting full of things like, damn.
Where I'm like, oh my God,
God,
like RRR and Athena coming out in the same year was one of them years where I was like, yo,
that was sick.
Cinema is alive.
That was sick.
This year it was like, okay, cinema's still here. It's there. But I have to say, and then the effed up thing is 2 of these movies on my list are actually not from this year, but I first saw them this year or late last year with one of them, and they were available to most people this year because they became available on Netflix, which is when pretty much most people see either of these because they were very hard to see in theaters if you even knew they existed at the time. And that is Blue Giant and the first Slam Dunk. Now, both available on Netflix. Also, both will come up in my top 5 anime, which we're doing soon. A little commercial for that right there. Just absolutely, like, when you talk about cinema being alive, Blue Giant was one of them films. Mello Brown, my writing partner and my brother for life, was raving about this movie from the moment he saw it. He's smart, so he got to see it in the theaters. I missed it, and he was just like, yo, you have to see this film. You have to see it. So, a little digital truck would roll by my house, and I grabbed it. And it was just like, yo, this is incredible. And it was so incredible that I was like, all right, fuck the digital truck. And I went and copped it off of, like, Amazon or whatever. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I got to,
You went legit. Okay.
Yeah, I had to make sure that these people got their funds because it's that good. And then it came on Netflix, and I rewatched it again. And it's one of these things. But long story short, Blue Giant is a film about 3 kids in Japan who form a jazz band. And that's it. There's no magic. There's no mystery. There's no monsters. There's no aliens. There's none of that. It's just 3 college-aged kids who form a jazz band. And it's one of the, like, when I finished it, I immediately, and now that Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze is out, I could say this. When I finished it, I immediately called up Mello and was like, yo, did we come close to that when we wrote this book?
Wow.
Because that's how good it was at depicting music, at depicting one's love for music, at depicting the dedication that it takes, to put into music, at depicting how the love and dedication are intertwined. There are so many moments in this movie, and then the animation, like, is just gorgeous, when they're depicting everyday life. But then when they start playing music, it's fucking incredible the way they show it. And I'm a big fan of showing music through, visual means and how you do it. And they murder it. I'm getting chills. I might have to rewatch it again tonight.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Oh my God, I can't believe you haven't seen it yet. You have, Tatiana, you have to see this movie. Everyone out there. Is
that how you feel like when you kept telling me to watch Athena?
Yes, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's even better because Athena is super inspiring.
I love Athena.
Blue Giant. Yeah, I fucking love Athena.
To this day, I love Athena.
Oh my God. I was in DR watching, like, we were in DR with my boys, chilling, and I'm like, y'all niggas ain't seen Athena? Like, right now, you know what I mean?
Watch this.
Roll up, pour some drinks, fellas. We watching Athena right now.
Could you imagine you guys? You're going on vacation with DJ BenHaMeen, and he's like, "Oh, you ain't seen Athena? You ain't going fucking nowhere till you watch this."
It's either that. I mean, we gonna hit the club later, but first we gonna watch Athena because it's either that or watch some rap battles. That's the other thing we were watching. Yeah. So no, Athena, and then the other one. Again, Mello Brown put me onto this, and it's also on Netflix. It's the first Slam Dunk. And the first Slam Dunk is another animation movie. And long story short, again, it's one of the illest sports films I've ever seen. And the concept is so crazy because the whole film takes place within one game. And within this one game, through flashbacks and a bit of flash forwards, but mainly just flashbacks and stuff, you learn about every person involved in the game, from opposing to this team. And it's one of the things when I'm sitting there watching it, from the opposing team to this team, I mean, to the, I don't know, both teams, basically. Okay. But when I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, oh, okay, the team that we're loving, the protagonists, they're about to lose this game. They'll go back, they'll train, they'll come back, maybe during the season finale, during the championship, they might get far and, lose the final game, or maybe they'll win the final game. And then about halfway through it, I'm like, wait a minute. This is still the same goddamn game. There ain't gonna be no other game. Like, this should be the whole movie in this one game. And so then I finished it, and I'm like, oh, that was good. And I woke up the next morning, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? That was crazy. That's like one of the illest concepts ever. And then how they delivered on all these characters. And then the animation is crazy. And it's like a lot of it's based off the Chicago Bulls, of the classic Chicago Bulls. But it's like a Japanese version of them. It's a famous manga. It was a famous series. And then the movie came out in 2022, but it finally made it to Netflix this year. And it is, the first slam dunk.
I know about the manga, the slam dunk manga, but okay.
Yeah, no, those two are like, those are the ones, but like I say, Blue Giant is the one that I will scream about. The first slam dunk, I'm like, okay, you got to see this. It's a good ass movie. Blue Giant is like, no, this is like something that anyone who loves music, anyone who loves art, anyone who just loves life, man, it's like one of the ones you got to see because it messes you up.
You said loves life. Damn.
Yeah, man.
That's a big net. It's everybody.
Yeah, because it's about like, it's, and it was one of the films. It's like I called Mello up again, and both him and I was like, man, it was cool up until this point, and I'm not gonna say anything else.
Okay.
And he was like, yo, same, brother, because it was at that point where, to me, it really shows you. It's just this quick flashback that just it fucks you up about music. You know what I mean? It shows you how music can relate to anything you love in life. And that's why, and it shows you how even people, because that's why it got me, because even as I'm a DJ, if you know me from childhood, you know this, I grew up like a non-rhythmic dude. I was not the person you would think would ever become a DJ or have anything to do with music.
You was clapping on the ones and the threes.
I damn sure was. If that. I was really clapping on some like in between everything.
0.5 and 6.2.
There you go. It was all bad, dog. I remember when trying to keep a beat, it was like, yo, it was so bad. But then it was through that dedication and the love that I became where I am now, where, I fucked shit up. So, it just shows you anyone could do it. And that's what this movie shows you. And, oh my God, I'm going to be watching it tonight.
And what's Ruby Ridge?
Ruby Ridge is another Netflix. Netflix is not the only ones. And this is more honorable mention. It's just a good ass action flick. With the black dude who is going to be playing Jon Stewart.
Oh, right. That's Ruby Ridge. Yeah. With me.
I really enjoyed it. I wasn't blown away by it or anything like that, but I did enjoy it. And I really enjoyed it, one, because he doesn't really use guns. He doesn't shoot anybody, but he gets the job done. And it's some solid action in that. Solid work. Yeah.
And that was the word I was looking for earlier, demote. So you took it off your top list and
just like you did. I probably put that more on
honorable mentions. Yeah.
It's just I was searching. I was like, damn. And then I even looked up this list of the top movies of the year. So it was like 25 of them. I had not seen 20. I didn't even get to the top. And then they had one joint on there, and I was like, nigga, please. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, ain't no way this is top anything, because I've seen this, and this movie ain't top nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very subjective list. My movie list for top 2024, obviously Wicked. Wicked. Oh, shit.
I haven't got to see it.
Okay. Whether you like musical or not, just like good work in film. This is the fucking movie, okay?
I've heard.
And then, of course, on top of that, yes, it's a musical. And on top of that, yes, you have the voices of Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. And couldn't have chose anybody better. Like, they're literally 10 out of 10, no notes. 20 out of 10, no notes. And I won't say too much since you didn't see it yet, and I don't know if you ever saw the Broadway show, way back, like when Idina Menzel was playing the Wicked Witch. I did see it when it was there, and it was so long ago I don't remember everything that happened and the whole story. But like, even just watching this, I was just like, holy fuck! Like, instant classic. Quite literally, it's classic. Believe the hype. This is one of the few. This is one of them ones where you're just like, damn, why, weeks later you still can't get a seat, because believe the hype. This shit is gold.
I'm glad it's still popping too, because I want to see it, but I also want to see the Rohirrim joint, the Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, Rohirrim.
And I know that's probably gonna be out of the theater in a week, so I'm probably
watch that first.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go see that like this weekend, and then
you might have to do a two for this weekend or something, because you want to see, because I don't, they still pull movies even if it's doing good. They still
holiday movies. Week next week, and I'm gonna be with fam this week. So
they're gonna keep Wicked for Christmas.
Yeah, I'll go peep it that week with fam.
Okay,
I don't think they've all seen it.
I was gonna say, just do it quick, and also highly recommend watch it on a bigger screen you can. This is an IMAX. This is Wicked is an IMAX. Okay. Mm-hmm. Another top movie of the year for me, Inside Out 2. I'm a huge, oh my God, I'm a huge Inside Out fan in general.
Me too.
Inside Out 2 continued to carry the legacy. Again, another rare sequel that did what it had to, did what needed to be done. 20 out of 20, no notes. Once again, just
all right.
Emotional, not triggering, I don't want to say triggering, but emotional. It grabs you immediately, and it's just beautiful work. Lovely
I saw
work.
Anxiety make
Ayo Edebiri.
Google has a
Your
really
girl from
great.
The Bear.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Google has a really great commercial for ending of the year about breakout things, and one of them was her character.
Anxiety, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, breakout characters, the from the returning characters to the new ones they introduced, like Ennui, like all this shit was fantastic. Fantastic. Please.
And it's on Disney Plus now, right?
Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus, so you can watch it at any point.
Yeah. I've been watching Skeleton Crew. I'll give that an honorable mention.
Right. I kind of figured why it wasn't on your list, but I put it on my list, Furiosa.
No, that meant to be on there. Definitely is.
That meant to be there. Okay. I was just like, was there something you don't remember?
No, let's be for real.
Furiosa.
I'm just waiting for you to mention it.
Okay, perfect. It's top. That, again, Mad Max legacy through and through. And the shit that they were doing, the practical effect. Like, yes, there was a lot of CG stuff. But there was a lot more than the original Mad Max. But when I say the original Mad Max, I'm talking about
Fury Road.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about the original. But anyway, but there was a lot of practical effects too that I was like, holy fuck, who thought of that? Like hellscape, wild shit. Like Demolition Derby meets Wild Wacky Race meets all this wild. Like it was just the wildest shit I've ever seen on film, and it carried a torch very well. And it was about Furiosa, who's also a fave in the series.
Yeah. I haven't rewatched it yet, and I need to. And that's probably why I didn't immediately throw it on the list, because it's like every time I want to rewatch it, I'm like, there's parts of it I just don't care about. I'll get to this eventually. But I will have to say this again, in the theater when we were watching it, there's moments that I'll never forget in life. And there's a moment in this movie, I won't spoil it for if you've seen it, but at the moment I said, get the fuck out of here.
Same.
Loud as hell. Everybody around me started laughing. And it was just like, this is amazing.
It's amazing.
Like, I can't believe it. Like, y'all just raised the bar. Because it's this one sequence where they keep raising the bar,
like
and then
they go crazy.
I was like, get the fuck out of here.
And then I also, for comedy reasons and hilarity ensues, and also because I enjoy the film, Dune 2, but specifically Dune 2 and 4DX.
Oh, God, fuck you.
If y'all don't know what 4DX is, the Regal Theaters have it, certain Regal Theaters, and they have the largest one in the world is in Times Square, and that's actually the reason why we were invited to the opening of the largest 4DX theater in the world for Dune 2. Okay.
See, last week you didn't mention the Flash. Because, and this week you want to traumatize me by bringing back.
Yo, 4DX, like I said, if y'all don't know what that is, you know how they say 3D is, you could, stuff is jumping at you and all that. 4D throws in environmental damage, amongst other things, to your body, okay? So if there's water on the screen, mist on the screen, you get mist in your face. This rain or snow falling, it's falling in the theater, wind, water, heart, all that shit. The fucking seats, bruh. The fucking seats are moving. They're moving, okay? And when I say moving, I don't mean this little bullshit I'm doing on screen. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube and Twitch right now. I'm talking about you are on a goddamn roller coaster just with your popcorn bowl, like, oh shit. And there are actuators in the seat. And by that I mean, if there's some type of, I don't know, if someone's maybe fighting on screen and they're getting punched in the kidney or, punched in the chest, you feel that. They say, oh, here's a little punch to the side and a punch here.
Punch, shot in the head.
People getting shot, bop, in the back of your head. When I say it was the most fucked up fun experience, because by the end we was sore. They was punching us in the seat. They was throwing us around when the fucking worms was coming and the whole goddamn thing was rumbling. And the programmers was on doing a big one. Let me just say that. The chair programmers was OD on a big one. And it was even more funny because Chico Leo was also there. And all I kept hearing was, what? Like, I just kept hearing him just go off, and Ben sitting there like laughing, dying. And I'm like, what's happening? It was It was the most fun fucking experience. And like I said, I liked Dune 2 anyway. I liked it better than the first. So
no. I no, I loved the first Dune. I thought Dune 2 was good, but that experience really ruined it for me. And that's one I have to rewatch. But I've been so traumatized. Literally, I was on Instagram the other day, and there's a post about the scene that I'm talking about when the sniping takes place, and it wasn't even showing the sniping; it was showing the dudes flying with jetpacks, and I immediately got flashbacks. And I know in that scene they fly with jetpacks, and then the snipering starts. And
the sniper. I'm sorry. There's a scene, if y'all didn't see the movie yet, I don't know what to tell you, but there's a scene where there's some bodies falling.
Yeah, first they get shot in the head, and then their bodies fall to the ground. And with every shot to the head,
every thud,
it would thud you in the back of the head. So 2 thuds per body, and there were several bodies within a short time. After that, I pretty much checked out of that film. I was laughing at Chico and certain other moments, and I enjoyed it, but I was so traumatized.
It is traumatizing. Like, if you really want to pay attention to the movie, don't go in 4D. If you just want to have fucking fun, go in 4D. It's literally, they try to combine the thrill of a roller coaster with a film. And obviously, the more action heavy the film, the worse it's going to be for your body. Good luck to you.
I enjoyed Furiosa in 4DX, but I hated Dune in it.
We saw. Yes. Didier says they need to have a release to sign before you enter the theater. They did, technically. So here's the technicality. You don't physically sign anything, but by purchasing a ticket for 4DX, there is very, 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 very fine print that says you agree to the risk and that you know what it is and you can't sue them and all this other stuff. So
it's there. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Dune, good movie. Yeah, whatever.
All right.
I have not been able to get into the show either. Like, I tried with the new show.
Oh, about the Bene Gesserit?
Yeah, and that's my favorite people, but like, spoiler alert, in the first 5 minutes, they murked the black woman.
I'm done.
I'm watching I'm sitting there watching oh, I didn't know this black woman was in it. Oh, that's why I didn't know. It's literally like that. Like, because in all the previews, she's not in it. And so when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, I didn't know this black woman was in it. And then, oh, that's why, and so I turned it off like 10 minutes after that. I was like, maybe another time. Someone else had to tell me this is the best show ever.
I heard it was kind of slow
heard that
anyway.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it, so I'm gonna keep moving. That's its honorable mention.
Okay.
On to shows, since we were talking TV right there. You already know X-Men 97. I ain't got to say nothing else. Go watch all of our reviews. Simply put, cinema on screen. Fantastic. Power, the final season of Ghost Book 2, I guess. I don't know. It's all Power to me. I can't say that this was the best season, as it was the final season, but just overall for the entertainment that Tariq and Braden and the rest of these nincompoops have brought to me over the years, top notch. Like, shout outs to everybody involved with Power from top to bottom. Y'all continue to put in work. 10 years of this tomfoolery, and I can't get enough of it. Like,
I love that shit.
I love it. And the funny thing is, I see so many shows that have adapted the Power method of storytelling. Something else I peeped this year that is actually this year. Oh, Morris Chestnut. What's the joint? The Lawyer Show.
Oh, Reasonable Doubt?
Yes.
Yeah, yep. Reasonable Doubt.
I'll give that an honorable mention.
I'm going to get that honorable mention.
For Power with Lawyers. Like,
it
is the logic of Power extended, and it's Power with a bigger budget because their music budget was bigger, and it actually didn't
insane.
Help them. Yeah, and
it didn't help them because it was too on the nose and too
or so stupid.
Stupid.
You don't put Electric Relaxation, a song about fucking, because it's Electric Relaxation in the title when you're telling somebody to relax. You don't do that.
But that's what I mean when I say on the nose. Like, it was literally like someone would say the word and then the song with the word in the name would play.
Was the
and I'm
worst
like, guys,
it was bad, really bad. Yeah. The music supervisor was hot mess.
And it's like fucked up because that also is the person who worked the magic to get like the song. Reasonable Doubt has a crazy reach with the music also because of Raphael Sadiq. So they can literally got any song, like songs that do not be on TV.
It can't be his fault. I'm
not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying he helps them get the clearances as well as other people.
Well, he shouldn't.
Who made the decision? who made the decision of what specific song?
Yeah, you need. See, that's when like less is more. You need more restrictions, so that way you have to figure things out. But anyway, yeah, reasonable doubt, honorable mention. Power. Abbott Elementary came back strong this year. I've been loving it. I thought last season I think was kind of like not as good as it had been, but Abbott's just one of the greatest shows of all time, and I'm happy to see that it's like regained me, the writing
Abbott's
strength.
great.
The actors are always phenomenal. Everything about the show is phenomenal.
Abbott's great. I'll keep added to my honorable mention.
Yeah, I've always wanted to big it up because I just feel like it's one of those shows that there's just not nearly enough things like that in existence. So it gets in my, top show because there's so many like, darkness, Darkness is
coming.
Yeah, and I'm just not a darkness person. You know what? I was thinking about this. It's really sad how bad like sci-fi has gotten that in Usher's live show, his vision of the future is a dystopia. You know what I mean? That's wild.
I did. Yeah, that's another thing.
That's
I saw that. Yeah, I peeped that storyline. I was like, okay.
Yeah, because like, back in the day, Michael Jackson had Captain EO. You know what I mean? Which was basically Star Trek. And now this nigga is doing dystopia, because that's all anybody thinks about.
That's all anybody thinking about right now, yeah.
But that's that's sci-fi, and that's an episode we're got to really do, and that's something I really want to talk about. But that's a whole another thing. Shout out to Scavenger's Reign, which got canceled. Just goddamn absolutely beautiful animation. I haven't finished it because that show was too weird for me. Like, oh my God, it's so weird. But it's so good. It's just like one of them weird things that gives me weird dreams where it's like, I gotta do it in doses.
I'm gonna fly through my TV because this is shorter.
Lastly,
Agatha All Along was in my TV. You mentioned Jamie Foxx. What had happened was
Anthony Jeselnik's live.
Oh, okay,
fantastic.
Jamie Foxx is one of the last standing when it comes to multi-talented people who can act, sing, dance, all that shit. Like, and then he's funny as fuck. And one of the few comedians that I've liked from the past that is still funny because there's very few that I still find funny. I'm just like, I don't feel it.
Right, Cats be aging. Did I ever tell you about the time I DJ'd and he hosted?
Really?
Oh yeah, Essence Festival. This is before Ray even. It's actually the year In the Club came out because In the Club was the song of the night and it was going crazy. And this was like right before Ray and this one, right before Gold Digger. And so Jamie was pretty much in the middle of just, doing nothing. And I was like, this nigga's, and I'd seen him on shows and stuff. Seeing him live and hosting a party is a real special talent. I was like, oh, this nigga's gonna be paid forever. That was my thought at the end of the night. That's all I knew. I was like, I don't know what this nigga's gonna do in life. And like I said, he turned around, did Ray, did Gold Digger, put out albums, all that. But it was like, he was just ultra talented. Like I remember so many moments. I don't want to go into them right now, but it was like watching a comedy show while I'm DJing. It was insane how good this dude is. And it was the first time I'd ever seen a bottle of Patron, and that man took it to the face. Ayo, I'd never seen someone. Dog, all night, that square bottle. Just, And I was like, what is this square bottle this man is? And when I find out it's fucking tequila, and he's over there,
Please with the sound effect. I can't.
It was bad. It was real bad.
I can't. Also rounding out my top TV, Lioness. Obsessed with the military-industrial complex. Obsessed with how grimy the U.S. is to itself. Obsessed with how every fucking agency in this country hates each other and undermines each other. And you would think it's like the worst game of spades, just with guns and bombs and UAVs. So it's so good. It's so good how, like, honestly, at the end of the day, nobody is really good. Like, I'm sure you're going to have your favorites and you're going to root for certain people, Zoe Saldana being one of them because she's like the main. But the shit that they be doing, including her, it's just like, all of y'all is fucked up. Like, and and it's justified in many different ways, but like, they don't shy away from how ugly and fucked up shit is. But it's just too good. It's too good. I recommend it, Lioness. And then finally, X-Men 97. It was funny that I don't know if it was accident or whatever. This was still left on the show run from last week. But I was like, no, that's perfect because that's top fucking TV.
Yeah, like, end the story.
Nothing beats that. one of the things, if you don't mind me just jumping to the next category, that I realized I wanted to put on was music.
Okay.
I'm only gonna name albums and artists specifically, but my top number one across anybody, if I'm gonna rank this one specifically, is Alligator Bites Never Heals, Doechii.
I still gotta really listen to that like I want to. I've been watching all our live stuff.
Take your time.
Take
your time. Doechii, nobody's fucking touching Doechii. Nobody is fucking touching her creatively. Nobody's fucking touching her lyrically, stylistically, everything.
Shout out to DJ Miss
Black
Milan.
Girly, like, come on.
Yeah,
she's giving it.
DJ Miss Milan is her DJ. Shout out to her.
Yes, love Miss Milan. Yes. Yeah. I enjoy Lotto's Sugar Honey Iced Tea. I thought it was a great like debut entry for her, and like every song on there was solid. Granted, you could tell that she was coached a whole way by Drake, but still, it was still solid. I
stemmed that one. It was just
you should listen. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty good. Glorious by Glorilla, again another fantastic strong entry. Glow. Everything on that album, even things you don't think makes sense. Like she has a straight up gospel song, like straight up and down with like Kirk Franklin and some other people of God. There.
Oh, no, that's a nigga of God. Let's keep it real.
Well, okay, yeah.
Come on, man. It's Kirk Franklin.
It's a nigga of God. Yeah, could you imagine that? Talking to somebody a nigga of God. Glorilla, phenomenal. Chromacopia. Tyler, the goddamn creator. If Tyler is not in your frame of mind when it comes to music in like at least the last 10 years, what the fuck are you doing? Mm-hmm. That's all I got to say about that. It's still just because, and this is mainly just because it's the most recent, I would say Kendrick Lamar's GNX. Is it his best Kendrick Lamar album ever? No, probably not. Yeah. But it's just something that I fucking run all the time, every day and night.
Yeah. It's a great album for what it was meant to be. It's an album of slappers. I would definitely say all those, especially Doechii, obviously, who I just think is a phenomenal effing talent and just needs to be recognized as one of them ones. Also, Tyler, even though I do not think Chromacopia, even though I got to go back and listen to it more, it's not Call Me When You Get Lost or The Estate Sale or Igor to me just yet. But yeah, I mean, but that's the problem.
Sonics, Igor and the Sonics of Chromacopia is insane.
Yeah, I get it. I do. But so is Igor and so is The Estate Sale, you know?
Igor's my favorite Tyler album. I have to say that.
It's a toss between that and really I've been getting into, like I keep saying, The Estate Sale, not just not the extended version of Call Me When You Get Lost. Because Mello once again was putting onto me the deepness of that shit. And how it's even like drama plays a part in like the whole album. Tyler's fucking crazy. You know, Tyler is like nuts. What everyone, you know, puts about like Kendrick, Drake, it's Tyler to me. You know, it is Tyler is the like, he is like, my boy said it to me the other day. He was like, if he'd come out when we were growing up, he would have been like a Michael Jackson or Prince type nigga. You know, he would have been one of them ones. And I was like, I can't argue with you there, you know? Like, this dude is taking his daughter to see Tyler, and this be her first concert, and, you know, she's so hype about it, and he's hyped because, you know, she made him into a big fan. Like, my other best friend, Drew, same thing. His daughter made him, and because he was like, I didn't get Tyler. I was like, no. And this the true story.
We'll get Tyler fast, because...
Yeah, he got Tyler. I grew up, like, not grew up, when when I just came home from jail, I was first blogging. I saw the fucking... video, you know, gang. And I was living at my boy's house, sleeping on his couch, and he came home, DJ analyzed, and I was like, yo, nigga, watch this, you know, like, this dude right here. And, you know, I already knew from that first time I heard him rap that he was going to be one of the ones. I didn't realize how much he would be, but no, he is that one. So, yeah.
Tyler's sick.
Definitely Tyler. Also, music that I have to shout out, Schoolboy Q.
Yeah.
Blue Lips.
Blue Lips, yep.
Thank God for Me is my song of the year and one of my songs of the decade. It's one of my songs of life, for that matter. Thank God for Me. It's just like, it's one of them ones, you know, it's like one of my top 100 songs of all time to me. It is like, it's something that it just means so much to me. Vince Staples, Dark, whatever the fuck the name of that album is, it's fucking incredible. It's
I should have put that as honorable mentions.
Oh God, that
Vince Staples
so
show,
good.
the Vince Staples show specifically.
Oh yeah, the show. No, the show was an honorable mention, but the album is so good because it's so dark. It's like exactly what he says it is, but then it's uplifting when it needs to be. Like the West just had a lot of joints. Absol, this joint is really fire. All those were like really like this year was lacking in film was for music for me.
Yeah, music went way harder.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I gotta work on my music, and it's just really good to hear, kids and younger people, coming out with joints. Honorable mention to Toby and Igwe. I did not like that new shit he dropped, but honorable mention to my dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, like he lost me. Yeah. I do want to shout out because I listened to him more than anyone else this year, other than, and this ain't new at all, but I got addicted to the one Thelonious Monk. I highly encourage anyone, if you're into music at all, and if you haven't ever gotten into Thelonious, just check him out. He is a legendary jazz pianist. He's, been passed, obviously, but he is just one of the greats. I feel like DJ Premier is like a reincarnation of him. So if you love hip hop, you'll hear those phrasings in Thelonious is playing. I just grew addicted to him and played so much of him. Like he was on my title. He was my number one played joint this year easily. Yeah, God, love me some Monk. So definitely check him out. Yeah. Moving on, let me do some quick comics I copped.
And this is the last category. Yeah, we did everything. This is the last category that and not the last top thing of 2024, but just the last category for tonight's show. But
yeah, I did read a lot of books this year, and we started off the show saying that. So before I do comic books, I do want to shout out some real books.
Okay.
Because I actually did read a lot of books this year, and I'm really I'm proud of myself, and I just want, man, people gotta read more books, bro. Like,
absolutely.
My
problem is just wanting to read too many at a time and not being able to focus.
Well, see, what I've done now is like, even though I bought a bunch, like I buy a bunch at once, I'm like, no, okay, I'm reading this week. And then I just, and especially when you wake up in the morning and read a chapter or so a day, you'll chew through joints. Like I haven't done that for the last few weeks, but for a minute, I'm chewing through. Like I read a lot of books on music because I'm working on another project about music and I just love music, obviously. But I really wanted to, the Public Enemy book that I read is actually out of print, so you can't get that. Sorry, but How Music Works it's right behind me by David Byrne, the lead artist of the group The Talking Heads, is fucking me up right now. Like it is. I have barely got 2-3 chapters into it, and this dude is just saying some of the illest thing about music and just life and everything. I'm loving that book, How Music Works by David Byrne. Please check that out. A bunch more. I'll just have to make a list. I can't think of everything I've been reading offhand or that I read offhand this year. But as far as comics, I mean, little book dropped this year. Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze from Titan Comics.
That was my number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I can't lie. When I saw the list and I saw that you put that on there, the single teardrop from mine. I can't lie.
And yes, I'm biased as hell, but so the fuck what? Because honestly, your shit was good. Your shit is good. Your shit was good. I hope I will always be honest with you. Like if shit's kind of weak or mid, I'd be like, I didn't really like that shit like that. No. Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze was truly transcendent of anything I could have any thought I've ever had of Jimi Hendrix, because it wasn't enough and it wasn't a lot. And this book really opened up my eyes to the importance of Jimmy and why he matters, and opened up my eyes to the fact that there's so many, like the flowers aren't there where it should be when it comes to him, right? And yes, this is fiction. Yes, this is, but it as I said many times in previous conversations, like this book drove me to want to learn more about his life and who he truly was and what he really stood for and cared about. And this book is really just a testament to some of his legacy, right? And I say some because his legacy is huge, right? But just some of his legacy, just to tap into this entity like that, like, and then Tom Mandrake, the fucking art. Like, no, Ben, your Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze was my top comic book of 2024. That's it. Period.
It's funny, as a little more time has gone away from me releasing it and creating it, and people are talking to me about it. When like the other day, recently on Blue Sky, someone mentioned they were just talking randomly. They weren't even talking to me, and then they're talking about that whole thread, talk about something, and they're like, and this was all signified in one of my favorite recent panels, and it was
right.
and it was, and then they posted.
I saw the skeet, as they're colloquially called on Blue Sky.
That's killing me. You
can call it a post, but honestly, to be funny, people call it the skeet. So.
Yeah, the skeet is wild that we trying to get away with that one. That's pretty wild, and I get it. Sky, skeet, I get it, but wow. Anyway, yeah, and I was like, that's crazy, like that's somebody's favorite panel. And then I got interviewed in Houston. I still haven't posted this; it'll come up soon. But I got interviewed in Houston, and they're talking to me about another piece of the book, and they're like, "Yo." And then my man Joe Hawthorne, he calls me the other day. Shout out to HU. My man Joe calls me up, and he's like, this first time he got to talk to me about it, and he brings up that same moment that Milton in Houston brought up to me, and that moment was when Vesper goes back home, and she's talking about, you can, the old phrase, you can never go home again, and Milton was like, you turn that old phrase and really turn it on his head, and I'm like, that's crazy, it's shit like that I really like to hear, and I really like, because that was my point in writing it, in that scene. And then Mello's scene about, that inspirational scene, the dude love, was just one of my favorite scenes that Mello had written. And it was like, nah, we really did some shit. Like, now I'm to the point where if I don't see it on people's best of lists, I'm like, oh, you haven't read it yet. You know what I mean? Because
that's it. That's it. Literally the only reason.
There's no way. Shout out to Kieran Gillen, who's about to be on my list, and Kieran's coming on the show in January, so we can talk about the Power Fantasy, which is one of my favorite books. And I saw Kieran at New York Comic Con, and he started on Hindrance, and he was like, "Oh, I really liked it." And Kieran's fucking excitable as hell, and then he's like, and I had to, once I got into it, I was really realizing I really liked this, so I was like, no, I need to really read this, So I'm sitting there like, Kieran, you're like my favorite or one of my favorite authors. You're one of my inspirations, and one of my fears was this book coming out and you reading it. And then him telling me, no, I really am enjoying this, and he's going to finish it so we can talk about it on the show, is like, that's that shit. And shout out to my brother, Young Guru, man. I'm putting you on blast right now, my G, because I don't know if you've read it yet, but I ain't heard yet, and it's upsetting me. And I'm about to fucking mail you a copy because I'm like,
Ben said it's upsetting me and my homegirls.
Yeah, I'm like, like he was one of the people that, and I've told him this, he was one of the people I wrote this book, like, yo, I need this person to read it. You know what I mean? And my man's, I ain't heard it yet, I ain't seen nothing yet, so, bro, I'm about to send you a copy. Anyway, yeah, Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze is definitely on my top. Shout out to Big Jim and the White Boy. The only other book that I was like, damn it, they might have got me for Best Book of the Year, by my brothers David Walker and Marcus Kwame, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Big Jim and the White Boy, just an incredible retelling of the story of Huck Finn from the point of his slave, Big Jim. From the point of view of his slave, Big Jim. There's a pen on that book that I want to put on a goddamn t-shirt and just wear it around every day, because it's just like, it's such a moment, and it's like, the whole book is full of them, but that one panel. But no, it is absolutely beautiful graphic novel. It's just amazing on so many levels. It's just a work of art. It's funny because the last book, Kieran Gillen's Power Fantasy, I saw Patton Oswalt recently posted about it, and Patton was like, the Power Fantasy, this is one of those books like Watchmen, like when other creators read it, it's gonna, change the way they do comics. And I was like, God damn. To me, more Big Jim and the White Boy is more my thing, of like, I hope, it makes people change the way they do comics. And the Power Fantasy, while I think it's one of the great books of the year, I don't know, it's maybe because I'm such a fan of Kieran already that it's not it is blowing my mind, but I don't know, it's not like Watchmen blowing my mind, But if you're not reading the fucking Power Fantasy, it is one of the best books of the year. It's such an ill concept. Long story short, it is a world. It's it's an Earth, but it's not like full of superheroes. There are 6 or 7, maybe 8 people in the world who have powers, and they are of the level of superpowered nations, each one of them. So each one of them is a superpower in itself. So, and there's only 8 of them, and it takes place from like the 1960s through like I want to go up to the 80s. I think I'm not sure exactly where the whole thing is going to take place in, but it is a world where Europe has been destroyed, and I mean that was only revealed in like issue 3 or 4, but it was basically there's just water where there was Europe, and I still don't know exactly why, but it's because of one of these people with these powers. And so it's
Damn.
that type of thing where Kieran has created this whole world and thought out the whole history of it. And, he's related it through music and everything. Like, he even hit me up when he was making it. He was like, because I hit him up when I first got the assignment for Jimmy. And I was like, yo, what do you know about Jimmy? Because I know he knows music. And he was like, actually, not that much. And then he went and did research on Jimmy for the 1960s portion of this book that he's writing, which turned into the power fantasy. So he was recommending me some books after I finished them, and I'm like, well, thanks, but yeah.
It's already done.
Maybe for the sequel, brother.
Right.
Yeah, but the power fantasy, it's one of them ones, Joe. Like,
okay.
Any Karen book to me is one of them ones, but this is one of them ones.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll add that to the list. I trust your judgment.
Oh my God, yeah. And I'm not going to, it's in the year that I put out one of my favorite books of all time, I'm not going to talk about much unless it really is up there. And both of those. And then, yes, lastly, because my brother, I got to shout him out. I've done it before, but it's still ongoing. And I just finally caught up. The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos by James Tinian, with art by friend of the show and family to me, Isaac Goodhart. It's just also one of them ill books. It's the Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos follows Christopher Chaos, who is basically a mad scientist in high school, and he runs into a Frankenstein, a werewolf, some vampires, a monster hunting society, another young girl at the high school who has spiritual cats following her around for some reason. He was in love. Christopher Chaos himself was in love with the high school jock who happened to be a werewolf who got killed in the very first issue and set off a bunch of things. So, it's the Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos. Nothing much to it. And just phenomenal, Like,
okay, that's
and
fair.
And then Isaac Goodhart is just like, I keep telling him, and I will keep saying this. Like, we've known Isaac for a long time. He used to do this book, Postal. He's been on the show. He was on one of our panels. And on Postal, I thought he was a great art, and I thought he was really good at what people call acting and comic book work, which is just like facial expressions and stuff like that. And then this motherfucker just grew up and turned into a monster. Like, he's just become one of the best artists working in comics today, and I'm just so proud that I know him. I got some art from him at New York Comic Con. I'm really proud that I actually got a piece from this man because, he's one of them ones, yo. And shout out to Isaac for continuing and learning and growing in his craft and just becoming one. And please pick up the Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos. It's guaranteed. They're going to, I think, 50 issues, so they're going to finish the whole story. And they're on like 13 right now, so you can catch up pretty quick, and it's just fantastic.
Okay. I will say Joseph in the chat said, are y'all gonna do games on a different episode? We did before coming on. We were talking about potentially mentioning games.
And I'm even Googling games, and my problem is, Joseph.
Well, what games did you play? You kept playing the same games.
That's the problem with me, dog. Like, I wanted to play Space Marine. I've heard it's good, and then I've heard some parts are repetitive. I'm a huge Warhammer 40K fan. I even watched the episode of Secret Level, that new show on Amazon Prime that had the Warhammer in a Warhammer episode that was pretty dope. And the Pac-Man episode was disturbing. I mean, like nigga, one of the most disturbing things I've seen this year was that fucking Pac-Man episode. Like, Jesus Christ. Don't do it unless you're, unless you just enjoy darkness. Because that was like, hello darkness, my old friend. It was that type of moment watching that.
Yeah.
And it's fucking Pac-Man. Anyway. So yeah, no, I haven't played Space Marine.
Listen.
I'm trying to think of things I downloaded real quick to play, but there wasn't. But look, I'll be honest, as always, Overwatch. New that I did play, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm actually going to do some streaming of it because I know it's popping and everyone's loving it. And add me on PlayStation, DJ BenHaMeen, and on Twitch, DJ BenHaMeen, and so we can play together. Is Marvel Rivals, the Overwatch clone that Marvel just dropped. And y'all know I'm an Overwatch fanatic. And I still can't even get off Overwatch to honestly even play it because I just love Overwatch that much. But Marvel Rivals is a dope-ass game. It's free. That's the other thing. That's why they're killing Overwatch, because it's free. So anyone can download it right now and play it. It's a third-person Overwatch clone featuring all these Marvel characters. It's fire. I haven't even really explored it yet. Like, I was playing as the Hulk the other day. Spider-Man is dope. Iron Fist, I was whooping ass as Iron Fist. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was still like, okay, I kind of get it. And it's fast paced like Overwatch, where it's like you got to know what you're doing. So I got to figure it out first, and I'll probably be addicted in a few weeks, and that's all I'll be playing. But it's that, and then I had to look it up to see if it even came out this year, and it didn't, because again, one game of the last year, and that's Baldur's Gate. I'm on my second playthrough. It's just one of the greatest games ever made.
You'll never stop playing that game.
No, I probably won't. Like most people, like I'm already thinking about my third playthrough. Like I already am. Like because next year they're doing another update where they're gonna add these new subclasses, and I finally want to do. They have a drunken monk, and I've been wanting to play as a monk. So I'm like, next year it's drunk monk time. So no, I'm not. Yeah, Baldur's Gate. It fucks me up like every time I play it. Like how ill this game is. Just shout outs to y'all. Like I just want to give those people respect because games like this don't come around every day.
I don't play too many games nowadays. I always grew up a gamer, and then until like maybe the last 5 years or so, just 5 or 6 years, just went cold turkey simply because I have gaming addiction. But
which you got to talk about at one point.
I'll make a whole episode about that.
Yeah, we need that on the show.
So nowadays I keep it light. Like I was fucking around with Balatro a lot this year. Balatro, because since we're doing the pronunciations today, it's like solitaire and poker and some other shit going on, and it seems like a simple card game, but like you start like it's all about like building deck mechanics. Like you have like Joker cards that can do different effects, and then you have tarot cards that gets thrown in that hole, and it's the wildest fucking thing. It's like you're playing poker but with power ups. And it's solitaire because you're not playing against anybody but the computer. It can get a bit much. It can get very addictive. I will say that. I have not touched it in like at least a week because I was just like, never again, right? But that fucking game is fun as hell. And you would think something so unassuming as a card game would just be like straight up, it's just a casual game. Like, nah, I was kind of in it. So Balatro for sure. A game I have not played that I do want to play that it's been a top game of 2024 is Black Myth Wukong. Got to play that. Like I like gaming addiction be damned. I'm gonna have to play that shit because I don't know if you noticed, you may or may not have been there, but there was a cosplayer at New York Comic Con this year who had the sickest fucking Black Myth Wukong BMW cosplay. He was the main character, and when I say it was gorgeous, I have never, and y'all could see this character. Like if you go to our YouTube page right now and just go to our cosplay videos from this year, from 2024, look at that. It is insane. So Black Myth Wukong is a RPG. It's inspired by a classical Chinese novel, Journey to the West. And it follows like what it says here is an anthropomorphic monkey based on Sun Wukong. And it's insane. Like everything about it is so fucking lit. And also like I got so much information from the cosplayer. Shouts to you, love you, appreciate you, who was telling me because he was like, oh, it's from this game. And I'm like, well, tell me more about the game. And the stuff he was fucking telling us and how deep into Chinese culture and mythology that it is. And like everything about it is insane. I have to play this game.
I will at some point. The one thing about that joint is my fear and love of kaiju is something that,
you think kaiju are real?
No, it's just the idea of them. It's like I love of Galactus. Like I lust Galactus, Godzilla, all those things. But then it's the Lovecraftian nature of large things that just really, terrifies me at the same time. So yeah, it's just like why
an alien today.
Oh,
a large alien ship. It's in New Jersey, so we got shit flying around right now.
Like Shadow of the Colossus. Like that was my game, but also terrified me, as I played it. Like absolutely terrified.
That's kind of scary though. I see why.
Yeah, definitely was. To those big ass things. It was but I loved it because they're so beautiful at the same time. But God, that game. But yeah, I'm still up on Baldur's Gate. I'm getting on Marvel Rivals. Please follow me, DJ BenHaMeen, on Twitch and PlayStation 5. Add me if you're on there. and I'll definitely be rocking Rivals soon. Might get on some later tonight. We'll see. I guess that's about it. We did books, we did comics, we did shows, we did movies.
Yeah, I
We did
mean,
games.
it's not going to be the most exhaustive wrap up show, but we want to
it was
just.
pretty long.
It was pretty long, longer than normal now, and we just wanted to make sure y'all knew what was up for 2024. We hope that we gave you something y'all didn't know about, because then you could just check it out. Or if y'all completely agreed, like, yeah, you saw or watched or played all that, fantastic. If you vehemently disagreed, we also want to know that shit too, right? So as you're watching this, of course, you're in the chat. I see you. You're watching this on YouTube. Please leave comments, okay? YouTube.com/ForAllNerds. Make sure you leave the comments. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. So we want to keep this going for everybody. Make sure also on the Twitch. I haven't said this in a long time. Twitch.tv/ForAllNerds. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel here. If you have Amazon Prime, and I understand if you don't anymore because fuck Jeff Bezos, but if you do, you can actually link your Amazon account to Twitch, since Amazon owns it, and actually use every month you get a free subscription. So you can actually subscribe to us, and you just got to remember every month to re-up your sub. So make sure you do that. Thank you, Joseph. We love you too. We love everybody who loves this podcast. We love everybody who supports and appreciates us. Please also go to ForAllNerds.com if you want to support us and our journey to being incredible people. We have fire merch like the one BenHaMeen is wearing. We don't have the sweatshirt, but we do have the t-shirts for Gucci Mandalorian, along with Lionel Richie there. Be on the lookout for 2025. When I say we're going crazy on ForAllNerds.com. When we say there's going to be some shit out there, when we say we're going to be doing some things on ForAllNerds.com, be on that, okay? You're going to see shit in terms of what we're merch and everything. You'll see it. You'll see it.
Yeah. We ain't talking about it. We being about it. But I do want to say, if you are a designer out there of any sort, but especially ones who would love to see their wares on some clothing or clothing designers in general, because we're gonna be moving up past t-shirts and sweatshirts and all that as well.
We're gonna be doing
a designer who wants to throw their graphics on something, we're definitely coming with a plan where you will get pizzade. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make sure your artists get paid. I want to be the company that pays its artists, the damn near the best rate in the business if possible. So if you got that out there, hit us up, contact@forallnerds.com. If you got ideas for fly ass shit like the Gucci Mandalorian tee, you know how we do, fly For All Nerds type wares. Please
cool
hit us up. Cool
if you want to animate one of our AK, because that's what our shirts are right now. Like, we have Lionel Richie and Gucci Mandalorian, and are those both mine or Lionel yours? AK.
Lionel Richie is mine, I think. Yeah.
But all the AKs we say of ourselves, like, you want to, I said animate, but if you want to draw that, please, hit us up. As BenHaMeen says, email us. Make sure you're following us on all socials. I don't know if you noticed, but we're not on Twitter no more. Not really, and I'm not coming back.
To the follow on all social though.
Yeah.
Not just any designs, not just our
anything
name. Yeah,
I was just giving them an idea.
Yeah, because I don't want this name flips. We running out of name flips. We need new, dope, For All Nerds vibe shit. Hit us up. Contact the For All Nerds.
Make sure you, again, For All Nerds on all social media. Follow us as well. I'm Tatiana King. He's DJ BenHaMeen. Make sure you're going to bigdjenergy.com to follow BenHaMeen's music travels and music journeys and everything that he's doing in his life.
Got some new shit dropping. I got a holidays pack, an edit pack of remixes. I don't know, it's a bunch. I'm basically gonna clean out everything I haven't released this year as far as edits. I'm gonna drop that for like $5. It might be 10 of them hoes.
Okay.
So go get that, bigdjenergy.com. Probably Monday.
Yeah. All right, Monday. As mentioned, I am not on Twitter no more and will not be coming back, but you can find me on the better place, the good place where they skeet at, Blue Sky. I am big on Blue Sky. I am on there every fucking day.
We out here in
skeeting away.
Skeeting away. Skeet,
what up?
skeet.
Oh God. What up, Frizzle? Cucumber. They said love this wrap up. Love you too. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you.
Word.
And Patreon. Patreon.com/ForAllNerds. There is a Patreon episode going up now By the time you hear this, already be up. But there's a Patreon episode going up. Patreon only. You have to be a subscriber in order to watch and listen to it. So please do that.
Yep. And we'll be giving away more shit in 2025. Speaking of games, since we didn't do much gaming, we're going to be doing, this is actually in the works right now, a gaming tournament of some sorts at Anyone Comics in Brooklyn. So if you're in New York, come through. One thing we're definitely going to be doing is challenging anyone to beat me in GoldenEye, the retro N64 joint. You know what I mean? Anyone can try and serve me, and I don't think it should happen. But yeah, we're going to have some giveaways and some fun times and all that good stuff. So come through. Anyone comments, more information on ForAllNerds Instagram coming soon. All right, y'all. And with that, we are out of here. Thank you for joining us if you were here live. Thank you for being here. Twitch.tv/ForAllNerds. Make sure you're following on that. As you see, we are back. We're doing a lot more on Twitch.tv/DJ BenHaMeen as well. If you're already following, you notice I've been on there doing music, playing games. Just a lot more Twitch this year coming because, like Tatiana said, we ain't in that Twitter, so we on the Twitches and them skeets.
We have more than concepts of a plan. We have a plan.
Yes, we do. Skeet. That's my Hey, y'all. Thank you for watching this ForAllNerds video. Whatever video it was that you just watched, make sure you hit these buttons below. Press all those buttons, that like, that subscribe, whatever you see right below these fingertips right here. Just hit them. ForAllNerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
ForAllNerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/ForAllNerds.